This husband left his family without a trace, but his wife finally found out what happened 23 years later. A married father who vanished from his home without a trace 23 years ago was found living in a different state with an entirely new family. Richard Hoagland disappeared from the house he shared with his second wife Linda and their two sons Matthew and Douglas in Indianapolis in February 1993. He was declared legally dead in 2003 and his wife remarried. In July of this year, police in Pasco County, Florida contacted Linda to say they'd arrested him for identity fraud. Hoagland had moved to the state and assumed the identity of Terry Jude Szymanski, a fisherman who died in a freak accident in 1991. He remarried and had another child, living quietly in the town of Zephyr Hills, where he obtained a pilot's license. Hoagland was exposed when the real Terry Szymanski's nephew found a marriage record stating his uncle had married in 1995, 4 years after his death. Now age 63, Hoagland is facing a string of fraud charges. His third wife, Mary Hickman, discovered a briefcase in their home which contained his real identity after police informed her of his arrest, the Tampa Bay Times reported. She also found the deed to a property he'd bought in Louisiana in 2015 and a key to a storage unit. His second wife, Linda, told ABC's 2020 how he vanished after telling her he had to go to the hospital in a panicked phone call in 1993. He called me at work and told me that he was ill and that he needed to go to the emergency room. And I said, "Well, why don't you just wait and I'll go with you?" He said, "No, I don't have time to wait." She checked hospitals in the area frantically but found no trace of him. At the time, Hoagland, who had already been married once before, had a successful insurance job. He vanished without taking any of his clothes or his passport. At first, Linda thought he'd returned, she said, but gave up hope as the years passed and remarried. She claims that she was interrogated by police who felt she may have had something to do with his sudden disappearance. Over the years, he sent birthday cards to the pair's sons with $50 enclosed. In one, he wrote, "I love you and miss seeing you. Let your mom help spend this money. You might want to put some away. Maybe sometime soon we'll get to see each other. I bet I won't even know you, it's been so long. Mind your mother. Bye, Dad." Terry Szymanski's nephew had been compiling research on his family on Ancestry.com when he realized someone had been using his dead uncle's name. Szymanski, a childless and unmarried fisherman, died in 1991 in a freak accident. Hoagland rented an apartment from his father in Palm Beach, which is what inspired him to steal his identity, detectives said. When Edward Szymanski, his father, died in 1994, Hoagland began using the fisherman's name. He applied for birth certificates and driver's licenses in different states and used his adopted name when he married his third wife, Mary Hickman, in 1995. The pair had a son together and settled in Zephyr Hills, where he worked as a landlord. Neither he nor his mother have publicly addressed Hoagland's deception. Neither were available for comment on Thursday. In July, Pasco County Police branded him as a selfish coward for his 2-decade-long deceit. "This is a person who's lived his life destroying others," said Sheriff Chris Nacco. Hoagland was facing theft charges at the time of his disappearance, the Indy Star reported. He told police he simply wanted to get away from his second wife when he was arrested, but could not contemplate another divorce.